We interrupt what you're watching right now to bring you this exciting story.
It's the dust and it's the glory. 100 stripes, 100 stories. It's the pledge of allegiance on the 4th of July. It's some handwritten letters from home. It's some sleepless nights alone. It's his newborn baby he left with his wife. It's the red, white, and blue. Lay down, he's alive. It's the red, white, and blue. 40 stars and stripes. Hey. From the fields of Indiana to the swamps of Louisiana to the golden coast of California, Uncle Sam's the only family he's got. His purple heartbeat won't stop. And his 18th birthday was the day he was born. It's the red, white, and blue. Lay down, here's alive. It's the red, white, and blue. 40 stars and stripes. It's the red, white, and blue. Stand on the front line. It's the red, white, and blue. Pay the ultimate price. Oh. He was the man out when he was born. His family is proud but torn. But if you know him, you will understand. He was raised on how to be brave, just to see the flags still wave. And then he came home with all he wanted. It's Mr. Red, White, and Blue. Lay down his life. Mr. Red, White, and Blue. For these stars and stripes. Mr. Red, White, and Blue. Stand on this red line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue. To pay the ultimate price. Mr. Red, White, and Blue. Lay down his life. Mr. Red, White, and Blue. For these stars and stripes. Marching line. Marching line. Hey. Hey.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, good evening, Erie County. Here it is, Wednesday. The time just flies when we're having fun. And I'm telling you, we are getting really, really close on our primary stuff. That May is a kind of a huge month to get things done. If you need to get registered, hi, Matt, Kim, Joe, Stan, Josh, Mark. That's who I can see on the list so far. We got to get people registered to vote. We have to have their party affiliations changed to Republican, of course. I have on the top left of my screen, I don't know how it comes up on your screen, but it's on the left of mine, is a QR code. That QR code, just take your camera, let it read it. It will take you right to Linktree. Linktree, the very, very top, will give you a link to get you registered to vote. If you need someone that needs their party affiliation changed, or they need to change their, thank you, Dave. On board, sir. Thank you. You want to get the party changed, address changed, get that stuff done quickly. May 5th is running around, just around the corner, and we got to get this stuff locked down. I mean, it's important. It's a primary. Wow, Mayor Longo. Thanks for stopping by, my friend. Nice seeing you. I hope the wife and baby are doing fine. I follow you on social media. I love the pictures. Keep them coming. Get registered to vote. Change your party affiliation to Republican, of course. If you're an independent or Green Party or whatever, and you want to vote in the primary, you cannot. You have to be registered a Democrat or a Republican. Not my thing. That's just the way the laws are written. I know it's been a conversation that we've been having in Pennsylvania for quite some time. Do we let the independents vote in the primary? Well, as the laws are right now, you cannot. So I know some people that will just say, well, fine, I'm not going to vote the primaries because they're not important. They are very important because we have to pick our representatives for the fall in November. Important stuff. Huge races going on all over the place. Your candidates are out there. They're visible. They're on social media. You can get a hold of them. You need a sign. Get those signs out. Get those pamphlets ready to go because it's door knocking time. If it will stop snowing, we could get some doors knocked. But if you're hardcore, go out there and knock some stuff. We're still kind of waiting for the Republican Party to decide what their walking list is going to be. But of course, they're always Johnny late on everything. So if you're a smart candidate, you already have maybe Sidekick or another app, go ahead and use it. That's just the way it's going to have to be until the Republican Party locally gets it together, which I'm not going to hold my breath. So, you got to take care of yourself. No one's going to do the work for you. You have to get out there and do it. And that way we can have a good, honest primary. But we got to get those things changed. We have to get people registered if they want to vote in the primary. QR code, top left corner. Use your smartphone. Harrison Dunn put that all together. Linktree, first icon. It's jumping up and down. It bounces at you a little bit. That way you can click it and get registered. Take about 5 minutes. So we had the Republican ladies luncheon today at the Seamburger. What a great turnout. Our own Harbor Creek Supervisor, Dean Pepicello, was our guest speaker. Great presentation, of course, because he loves Harbor Creek. He loves his job. Talked about why we're doing it and doing a decent job, and we're having new buildings come in and we're getting it right. Jim Block was there from Mill Creek. Great conversation. It's nice to actually get a hold of the movers and shakers and say, hey, Jim, could you please explain this to me, why this went this way? And he's a good guy. Retired state trooper, still in service, helping his community. So it was nice to see Jim there. Leanne Orton was there, of course. Matt, Lieutenant Strupp was there, running for city controller. We got to get these people up. We got to get them visible and get them going. So for the ladies that are running for Erie City Council, they were all there. They got their presentation out, which was great to hear all of them all together and what the direction they're going. They're going on the same direction, the same path, just fine-tuning things that are kind of really important to them. But, the common thread is to make Erie great again. And we need to do that. And we're not doing it. We're not getting that done under the current city council. So that way we need to remove that city council. That's simple. You don't like your politicians, boot them out. And that's what we're trying to do. That's why we have four, I think it's a record, women running for city council at the same time. It's truly amazing. I think this is historic. I think the cards are lining up right. I think we're going to see a change. And then that is totally awesome. And it's exciting. so much going on locally. The mayor candidates had their race on the Democrat side. They had their little debate. I didn't watch it because it's just the same blah blah blah. One from an older. Oh, got our first call. Dave, you're alive, sir. I am feeling fine, sir. How's the city of Erie doing on this fine, chilly night? Tiff. Yeah. Hey, Dave, hang on. Hang on 1 second. Brenda, you can't hear him? I don't know.
I cannot.
Hey, the folks in the room, can you hear Dave okay? It's a little delayed. Give me 1 second, Dave. We did a test. We always test everything out to make sure everything's working, and it's... Yeah, I can hear me, but can you hear you?
No.
Yeah, Kim Hunter's saying I can't hear you. So hang on 1 second. We will adapt and overcome. Hang on. Okay, Dave, you still there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, can you guys hear Dave now?
1 2
Yes.
1 2 test 1 2.
Okay, all I did was flick you over to speakerphone. So go ahead. We're talking about TIFF.
Yeah, Tiffany Titus,
Yes.
Erie City Council. I guess at it again. Worried about UPMC in Pittsburgh. I guess UPMC cut off. Pardon the pun. Having LGBT or the whatever they call it, the medical procedures for kids 19 and under.
Yeah, reassignment surgery.
There you go. They
Yes.
cut them off from that.
Another pun.
And I guess Tish or Tiff. That's what I'm getting them mixed up.
Yeah,
And
Tiffany.
More news on Tish too. But
Tight.
Tiff had to sign her name on there and put down her position.
Oh no.
Let her to the UPMC big shots, voicing her displeasure of the UPMC cutting them off from that reassignment surgery. Now, is that a city council job to do that?
I would go with no, but with the Democrat Party nowadays, it's all identity politics, and they're trying to make transgender an issue. You know what? That happened last year, the last 4 8 years. It's done and over with. Nobody cares what Tiffany, whatever his name is.
Tiffany Titus.
Right. Tyler Titus. Opinion is, and I know UPMC as a huge multi-billion-dollar hospital really gives two craps about what a city council person says in Erie.
Yeah.
He just
they have no business being involved in stuff like that. Fix the roads.
right.
My truck suspension would thank Tiffany and the mayor if they would be doing the stuff that's regarding the city, not some UPMC, like you're saying, a multi-billion-dollar business. They're worried about that. No, stick with the basics.
Do your
Police,
job.
Fire, the streets, garbage collection, the roads. I mean, I believe they even have the parks because there's a parks department.
Yeah, the parks falls under the city. Yeah, you see the guys driving around.
City business, period. That's it.
Right. Well, that's because that's what they want. That's what they want to misdirect your attention. Was this in the news today?
Yeah.
There it is. There it is. Right before a primary, we have to be relevant. It's just like their big, we're going to ban ghost guns. That was a pile of crap, misdirection. Oh, look what we tried, but it didn't pass.
That's another one.
Yeah.
Another one that they have no business monkeying around with.
Smoke and mirrors. It's all this is smoke and mirrors to distract how bad the city's doing. I will refuse to drive on Liberty Street. I refused to drive on Cherry Street from 26th Street North. It's horrible.
I told you that, 2, 3, 4 weeks ago.
I know, and I wasn't paying attention. I found my dumbass on that street. And I'm like, God, Dave told me not to do it, and I did it anyway.
It's horrible.
Horrible.
Cherry's, like you say, 26th Street North.
Yeah.
Cherry Street. I think they're trying to break out of the cemetery by tunneling underneath and then coming up onto Cherry.
Listen, we just saw a zombie movie. Knock it off. You're freaking me out, man.
But anyway, we're gonna go from Tish to Tiff. How about old Tiff?
Okay.
Tiffany, or not Tiff, Tish.
Tish.
James. Tish. I'm going from Tiff to Tish.
Yeah, I know you.
James.
I know. What's up?
Oh, she gonna get charged big time.
I saw that. I guess
Stale
it's
too stale. Remember that comment?
yeah. No, I get that, and it's so funny. Someone that ran on an anti-Trump. Are you there?
There we go.
There you are. That was you. That wasn't me. Whew, I was scared.
Oh.
No, I get it. It's absolutely ridiculous. And and these Democrats are just trying to outdumb themselves. Wait till we jump into the immigration about saving that poor guy that has been deported illegally. And they're demanding he brought back.
I was just gonna bring that up. That's it. Maryland Dad. That's all you hear. Maryland.
Yeah.
I'm home, honey. You guys are frickin' thug.
MS-13. It's been through the courts, and it's funny because I believe the Supreme Court ruled on this on the lower court, and they agreed 9-0. They don't agree on anything. 9-0.
All you hear from the general news media is a Maryland Dad, Maryland man, Maryland Dad.
It's misdirection. That's all they're trying to die on this hill. They're going to think they're going to go down there and pull this guy out of prison, and they're going to get jammed up, but they're diplomatic immunity, you watch. And who's paying for this little joyride down south?
Mm-hmm.
That's my question. Who's paying to fly these knuckleheads down there? They're all multi-millionaires, but you and I, the retired guys, are going to get stuck paying the bill. Now, we got some cool videos about that. They'll be coming up later in the show, but, we always love your call.
Well, that's about it. I ain't got too much else. The signs have been, my political signs have been up, but the Democrat wind has been blowing lately and took down one of the signs. I have one that you gave me at the extra heavy duty metal on it. That thing's rock solid.
Yeah, I
the other one broke again. It's a Democrat wind in this town in this Lower East Side.
Yeah, I drove by your house and I saw the ultra heavy duty one was still. I'm going to bring you a shorter one because when they're shorter, they don't flap in the wind as much and they don't break. So
that's what she said.
Aye. We'll get you a new one, sir.
All right, have a good one.
All right.
All right, later.
Yeah, that's technology. We do a pre-check, we do a pre-list, we check everything out before we go online, and then it decides at the last minute not to work. But that's okay. We just throw it on speakerphone, move the speaker over, the microphone over, off we go. Brenda, play a video, please. Thank you.
Black and white sports fans, when it comes to Carmelo Anthony, it definitely seems now we have a BLM type of scheme on our hands. As you guys know, Carmelo Anthony was actually released from jail yesterday. He's been put on house arrest. I mean, this young man has been charged with first-degree murder. He's looking at decades in prison. Nobody actually buys that it's self-defense claim. Nobody does. The evidence so far does not point towards self-defense. Okay? But he's going to be on house arrest until whenever the trial actually does happen. Not really sure when that's going to happen. It's actually pretty early, probably sometime later on this year is actually what I'm anticipating. But folks, we all know that Carmelo Anthony's family has raised over $400,000 after their son killed the football player and track star Austin Metcalf in Frisco. And they told the judge they could not use that money to bail him out on a $1 million bond. Now, they only have to put down 10%. So essentially, guys, Carmelo Anthony got out of jail for just $25,000. Yes, some woke judge decided, you know what? Let's let this young man out. He's facing capital murder. And it's not looking good for him whatsoever. Not at all. But folks, we got some information now, guys. I didn't know this until like minutes ago, really. Folks, his family now, in my opinion anyway, has a BLM type of scheme. Now, of course, you guys know during 2020, BLM raised all this money, right? Something like millions and millions of dollars. Said, oh, we're going to help the black community. Now, the red cent went to the black community. Now you got these race hustlers out there that have donated over $400,000 to this family. And this Give, Send, Go was actually started by Carmelo Anthony's family. Well, folks, they got other plans with this money. Yeah, to me, in my opinion, man, they have schemed people out of their money.
Well, there you go. Not my words. Another influencer on TikTok just calling it as he sees it. And it was so funny. On social media today, they were discussing this whole this whole debacle of deporting a guy illegally. And I disagreed with the point. And of course, what came out? The race card. I'm racist because a resident of another country came here illegally, committed crimes, was deported. So I say, I don't agree. That's racist. No, it's not, boys and girls. Nice try. Nice playing the card. I'm going to call Kim back. Hang on, Kimmy. I'm calling her right now.
Well, hello, Brian. You know, I got that delay. I didn't realize I was in the middle of a video.
That's okay. See, you're into the groove. When I don't pick up, you just wait. Yeah, and then I just call you right back. So what's going on?
Well, I want to encourage everybody. You know, we got a lot of things going on this month. You know, I know it's a little bit cold out, but the weather's looking to be better. We have our great friend Joe Glassman and his band, Mean Old Bastards, playing this Friday night. And it's going to be at 13924, and it's from 8 to 12 at Irish Cousins. So I encourage everybody. You know, he's a great patriot. He comes to all of our functions. So if you're not doing anything, go out there and show him some love. And then we have a rally. Everybody, if you're not doing anything, show up at the casino about 10:30, quarter to 11, and join us for our rally. We got our good friends at Union, out at Union City joining us, you know, with the 814 Patriots. And then, listen, guys and girls, when you go to vote, make sure you know who you're voting for, because some of these people can cross-file. Democrats will show up on your Republican ballot. And we only have one true Republican running for judge, and that's Mrs. Leanne Orton. And she will be on the ballot. And she's having a fundraiser at the Brew Erie Union Station Monday from 5:30 to 7:30. And if you want to go to that, Brian and I both have it on our Facebooks. So I encourage you to please, you know, we gotta get some of these Republican judges in there. You guys see what's going on with national news. And let's see. And if you're not signed up and you're a veteran, Senator Laughlin is having his Veterans Breakfast on the 29th.
I know. I'm already signed up for that. But yeah, the Leanne Orton get together. There is a donation. They're asking $100 at the door. Of course, campaign signs cost money. Stickers cost money. T-shirts cost money. Everything costs money. So, you know, you have to get a little bit of money in. You know, I have the list of all the candidates that we're really kind of supporting right now. There's a couple that are missing. We will update that. The official list from the county just came out today. So we will work on that for our next show. And speaking of next shows, Sunday we are not going to have a show. It is Easter Sunday. So let's be respectful and enjoy our time with our families and go to church and whatever you think is important to do that day. So we are not having a show on Sunday, but we will have an updated list for you next Wednesday.
Good point. And a rumor has told me that on the Joe Natale show tomorrow will be our great Senator Dave McCormick.
Oh, interesting. I didn't catch that.
Yeah, so Dave McCormick's supposed to be on Joe Natale tomorrow at 3:30. And speaking of Dave McCormick, sign up. He will be doing a town hall, and that's by the Zoom or whatever you call it, and that will also be on the 29th. And I will put that out on my Facebook, and I think I sent it to you, Brian. If not, I'll resend it. So those are some great events for May. And then as Brian and I will both be signed up, I know Nate Rittner signed up. The March for Life will be on May 3rd, and that starts off at Perry Square.
And of course, as always, I will be the DJ. I'm not the master of ceremony. Tim is the director. I am just there as a sound guy. I do get a couple of minutes on the microphone because it's mine, and I think that's only fair.
Right.
But again,
now,
it's always
I point something out, and I just brought Brian's attention to it. I know we have a trash problem in the city of Erie. I know this. We have a lot of people that. And I hate pointing out it's mostly renters that don't take care of their trash. On the other side of the coin, we have a lot of senior citizens, we have a lot of disabled people, we have a lot of veterans, and people will go by their yards, they'll go by their backyards, especially people live on an alley, and they abuse them. They will dump things, and these people have a hard time catching up. So the city council, in their wisdom, has decided to give them a 2-week notice that if they don't get that cleaned up, they will get charged $1,401.73, and they will attach it to their garbage bill, which is attached to their water bill. And if they don't pay it, they'll shut off their water.
Boy, I tell you what, just as you think the city can't be any nastier or any not welcoming, why don't we just really pull out the jar of stupid? And I understand the intent of what they're doing, but I'm telling you, starting to fine people over $1,000 because you didn't pick up your garbage, and they're going to attach it. No, it's real simple. I know. Well, wait a minute. This is actually common sense, and it'll actually cost them a couple of dollars. Is if they have to send a crew out to clean up, you send them a bill. They don't pay it. You put a lien on the property, and then you can't sell the property until you get it. But no, they're just going to hold your water hostage because they can't shut your sewer off because it's gravity fed, but they can shut your water off. So that's real welcoming. And boy, I hope that works out for you really good.
Right. I don't even see how it's legal, to be honest with you, but that's what they've decided to do. And I know for a fact when they did the thing with the yards, if your grass got too high, they would come by and they would fine you. No, what they did to one old lady, senior citizen, disabled, told them I'll get to when as soon as my son comes into town, he'll mow the grass. No, instead of waiting, they went by and cut her yard, which was smaller than my front yard, charged her $535.
Wow.
So I can just imagine, and the
you're right.
$1,401, that's on top of whatever. That's administrative cost.
Oh, I know. And I get it, and I know they have a problem. I mean, I literally was in town today. I went to town down to the Satan Burger Club, and I tell you what, Buffalo Road by the park, by the school that's closed, somebody moved out. You can always tell when somebody moves out because there's a pile of garbage at least 4 foot tall. And how long will it sit there? I don't know the time. 6th Street. The same.
Usually, when you see those are people that rent, but they want to scream and yell about their renters' rights.
No, I get that. And then, of course, the honest, hardworking landlords that try to do the right thing, they're the ones that are going to get dinged. And I also heard part of that is if I was talking to a landlord that rents properties in the city of Erie, they will literally also come after your occupancy privilege of being a landlord in the city of Erie. So if you lose that, you can't rent that property until you clear this all up. So here you are making payments and paying taxes on a property you can't rent because the city pulled your privilege of being a landlord in the city of Erie.
Right. Because your tenant didn't pay the garbage fee because of the extra garbage they left. So now imagine if you have 2 or 3 rentals and all 3 of them have this $1,401.75 fee plus the cost of removing the garbage.
No, I get it. I totally get it. You see some of the comments in here, Stan, city union rates for lawn care. Wow. I wish I got, $100 an hour to mow lawns. And, so it's basically,
It wouldn't even have taken them an hour.
We know that.
And like I said, I understand there's a garbage problem.
Yep.
But what they need to do is go up and investigate. Okay, I see you have a garbage problem. What's the problem? How can we help? Why don't we do a community service type thing? Okay, this house has a garbage problem. Okay, this is a disabled veteran. What can we do to help them? Supposedly you've got 1,857 nonprofits. You're telling me not one of them can help out with a dumpster fee. We can't help out in another type of way. No, that makes too much common sense.
Well,
this is where we have to bring common sense to city council. This is city business,
right.
Not figuring out a way to get a free transgender operation.
No, I totally get that. In April, it's a land grab. I mean, I totally get that.
It is a land grab.
And here's the thing. There are some nonprofits that have actually put together an action plan and went out there and picked up the garbage. They have city cleanup. They pick a block and they go. Problem is, 2 days later, it looks just as bad or worse. Right. But thank goodness they have Erie Insurance being a good neighbor. They keep their properties trim, neat, clean, picked up, the garbage done. The city of Erie has the guys that walk around with their little picker-uppers and pick up cigarette butts. All over downtown, and I get that, and I appreciate that, and it does make a difference. But
right. And it does one too. They do, I think, 4 times a year. They get their students out there filling up extra amounts of garbage and stuff like that. But like I said, there's an alley right across the street from me. An old lady lived in a house across the street from me, and I would watch these trucks would come by, and they would dump tires and all kinds of crap in her backyard because she had no way of fighting them up.
No, I totally get that. I mean, I drive around quite a bit, and I see these just piles, and these piles have been there for months. You pay your city workers. You bought them a truck. Listen, we need to go clean this mess up.
Right.
Take an hour. But hey, I don't work. I don't live in the city. But it's getting tougher and tougher to go into the city. I mean, it's just I've seen some private businesses, and I'm not picking on them, but they have no excuse. They have employees. They have guys that come in and do the lawn care. Pick up the garbage, people. Right. It's that simple.
It sure is.
And fix the roads. Fix Cherry Street. Fix Cherry Street.
That's it. The business of city council is to take care of city business. It's not to take care of nonprofits. It's not to, let's have a ceasefire in Gaza or any of this other, I'm going to say it, bullshit. It's to take care of city business and to make sure the city runs properly and to take care of every single taxpayer, not your 51% that like you, Chuck. And Dave, I got to give Dave a compliment. I love your videos, Dave.
They are something else.
For you. Chucky Nelson, Mr. Mom runs against Matt Stravinsky, G.I. Joe. So there you go, Dave. Let's come up with something right there.
We'll have to put up. I know everyone's put together those AI action figures. Some of those absolutely crack me up. I mean, Nate has one out. I posted one for Nate. It was absolutely hilarious.
Oh, I know. Nate's really clever at that. I told him he's got to come up with one for me because it's just beyond me. But with that, I know people have been listening to me talk all day. My number one thing there, guys, is please, 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 we the Democrats do not have that big a lead on us right now when it comes to mail-in ballots. If we can get at least one out of every 5 Republicans just to get up and vote, we can take back the city, we can take back the county, and we can get Leanne Orton elected as judge. And with that, I'm going to let you guys go. Have a blessed day. And I hope to see many, many of you this Saturday at 10:30 at the casino.
All right.
Bye-bye,
Thanks,
Brian.
Kim. Appreciate your call from Boots on the Ground reporting on the other side of town. Dave does one side, Ken does the other side. So yeah, a lot of great comments. Dave's coming in here with some great comments. I hope you guys are paying attention to them. And it's just it's ridiculous. Why can't you just take an extra minute out of your life and pick up garbage? when I was walking the neighborhood for my I got to get out walk thing, I think I'd pick up a bottle, and then I pick up another bottle. I'm like, I better start carrying some gloves. Okay, then I had to start carrying a little bag because I would just pick up a bottle or something that was laying on the side of the road. What's the problem? But the problem is, you go down East 6th Street and some of those rental properties are disgusting. East 12th Street, absolutely war zone in there, and the properties aren't taken care of and they're not cleaned up. What kind of message does that send to Erie when somebody comes into the city? Or then it reflects on Erie County. It doesn't matter that the nice folks in Northeast have clean streets. These people are in the city. It doesn't matter that the people in Green Township or Union City or Corey, they keep their stuff nice and tidy, but we're judged on the city, on how they represent Erie County. And that's why, Rockhead Copeland was, we're going to spend more money into the city of county tax dollars. And boy, I tell you what, he has kept that campaign promise. And, they're suing the county executive to raise your taxes. Woo! That's a first. Man, the camera is really struggling to stay focused tonight. Sorry about that. Come on, focus. It's an autofocus camera. Not much I can do. Okay, Brenda, you got a video. Go ahead.
Gentlewoman's recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I rise in strong support as a woman and as the chairwoman of the Republican Women's Caucus, not only just for election integrity, but clearly literacy, because y'all have not read the bill. That much is clear. This bill is very, very simple. It ensures that only American citizens can vote in our federal elections. This isn't hard. 87% of Americans agree that only Americans should vote in our elections. So it makes me wonder, why are my friends on the other side of the aisle always consistently looking for ways to ensure that illegals can vote in our elections? It's almost as though they have an ulterior motive. You have to show an ID to board a plane, to buy alcohol, to cash a check. You have to show an ID to buy cold medicine, for God's sakes. Why should people not have to verify their citizenship to register? And I say to register because my friend over here keeps pointing out that women in every single congressional district will have to provide proof of their name change in order to vote. Folks, read the bill, page 14. If you are registering to vote, there is a process by which the states establish. If you are already registered to vote, you are fine. Read the bill. Stop insulting women. I am sick and tired, and I know women across this country are sick and tired of being talked down to and being insulted repeatedly with the fear-mongering tactics of the left. It is disingenuous for them to stand there and continue to say that women will not be eligible to vote. This is about protecting one of our most sacred rights that we have as Americans. And I am so proud to stand here as a woman, as a married woman, and again, as the chair of the Republican Women's Caucus, in safeguarding and ensuring the integrity of our elections. I urge my colleagues to do the same.
Time has expired.
I yield an additional 15 seconds.
The gentleman from Wisconsin yields her an additional 15 seconds. Thank you.
I love it.
I can keep preaching for an additional 30. The point is that Americans around this country are sick and tired of the fear-mongering tactics that they have been subjected to by the left for decades. We need to ensure the integrity of our elections. It has been demanded by the American people, and we're making good on that promise today. I urge my colleagues to support the SAVE Act. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Expired. Gentleman from Wisconsin.
Well. Look at that. Page 14, why don't you read the bill? Because most of these knuckleheads that voted against it probably didn't even read it, or they had a staffer say, okay, give me Cliff Notes, and how should I vote on this? or when they get together, their little meetings or emails to go back and forth, like, okay, we're not supporting this thing, right? We're not supporting this thing, right? We're not right, and because they all come up with exactly the numbers of Democrats voting against this legislation that help women. So God forbid the men that are the majority of the people are voting down women's rights. And they're allowing men to dress up like girls and be in their sports and knock the hell out of them. So they don't get to go to college. They don't get their scholarships because the men are in charge and they're showing the women they are in charge. So bless this representative's heart. She put the facts out there for you because the media, oh yeah, we can't have this because it takes your right. And if you're married and you changed your name, you can't vote. That's a lie, people. It's a lie. Pull the bill up. Go to page 14 and read it yourself because they know that the American people are just too busy sitting on the couch, eating cheese puffs and watching Netflix and not paying attention to what these Democrats are trying to do this country. Ridiculous. Read the bill, page 14. We'll have to get that. We'll go online and we'll get a copy of that page 14. So yeah, Brenda, please share that video to me. Stan would like to have that video. I know, Brenda, you're reading it. So Brenda, go ahead and play another video, please. And thank you.
I don't know how you sleep at night. I would not do your job. I do not like it. So people can literally call your company and get a bunch of paid actors, if you will, to stand up there, hold signs, and scream on the street corner, because that's what your company does.
Number one, it's not actors. We're providing activists who are truly engaged with the cause, right?
But are they? I just showed you a video of a guy going, I don't even know why I'm here. They got signs and they got sheets and they said, go say this and talk to cameras and hold signs.
It's challenging for them to get sufficient turnout to a lot of these events, compensating people, just like Dan, you're compensated for hosting your program. These are your real views on this program, but you're compensated.
I am, but I don't pay my viewers to watch me. So I love the fact that I can go on the street corner and say whatever the hell I want, a grievance against my government, or call my neighbor or whatever I want, because that's America. But I don't like that companies try to stage it all and hire people and set it up. It should be organic. The American people should want to come out, get on their soapbox, my show, I'm talking. They should come out and want to gather together and say, here's the cause I'm sticking up for. But you see, guys like you and the bureaucrats and the folks in D.C. love stirring up the pot between us Americans. And so you pay people to do this and you make a scene look bigger than it really is. You make an issue bigger than it truly is. And so I don't like your business. I'm going to end it there, but I appreciate you coming back on.
So what makes Trump a fascist? What makes Trump a fascist?
He does things without
You gotta talk loud. I don't have my mic on.
I'm not really good into interviews.
Sorry?
He just does everything he wants, and not following laws, or he's a convicted felon. That's all I know.
But your sign says he's a fascist, and I'm just curious what makes him a fascist.
One of the things is that he's trying to control the media, right?
Say that again?
He's trying to control the narrative.
How is he trying to control the media? Doesn't every president try to control the narrative?
They try to control their own narrative, but one of the things that Trump has done, for example, is the renaming the Gulf of Mexico, and then not allowing the Associated Press to come into the White House. Basically, trying to get.
What are your feelings about him renaming the Gulf of Mexico as the Gulf of America when a majority of the Gulf is in fact on the coast of America as opposed to Mexico?
I mean, it's kind of pointless. People.
Is it pointless?
Yeah, people call it the Gulf of Mexico.
Don't you think it could have a positive tourism impact potentially?
Tourism has been down heavily.
So I don't want to get into a tourism debate. My question is, the sign says the fascist Trump regime must go.
Yeah.
And so I'm just curious what makes him a fascist. You pointed out that maybe something about his relationship with the media, he wants to control it, but how? Again, you're calling him a fascist.
Yeah, well,
what makes him a fascist?
One of the core tenets of fascism is creating an enemy, right? And blaming those problems on
What's
the
that?
Oh, yeah,
So-
the paper gave me, yeah.
Who gave you that?
The people that gave me the sign. It's a free sign.
Oh, someone gave you the sign, and then they gave you the handout. So are you reading it now to try to answer the question?
Yeah, but I mean...
Can I see that? Can you hold that up?
I'm just not...
I'm just curious.
Maybe you can have it.
I can have it?
Yeah, you can have it.
Alrighty. So where did you get the sign?
All the way in the gatekeeper's house.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just pretty cool.
And that's another one? They gave you 2 pieces of paper? Can I have that one too?
Yes, you can have both.
Oh, okay. So what brings you guys out here today?
Just because I saw people were hanging out with people.
Yeah, same thing as everyone else, executive overreach.
Oh.
And what brings you out here today?
What doesn't?
Can you explain a little bit for our viewers what this means?
Go ahead.
Where's your handout?
Cactocracy. Government by the least suitable or competent citizens of a state. Seems to fit, doesn't it?
These pictures were taken at the hands-off anti-Trump protests that took place yesterday. And while some of you might be mad at this, I'm not. I'm just happy that these people finally left their mom's basements, went outside, and got some exercise. This goes to show that Trump is making America healthy again.
There it is. We talk about this stuff. We know they did it in Erie. We showed you the buses. Here you have people that are protesting with a sign that they were handed. No clue other than the cliff notes that they were given. And like the gentleman that was holding the big banner, he didn't even know how to answer the question until he got his printed script out and answered the question. So, and the guy who has a company that provides people to go out and protest, tap danced around, and he did the old shuffle Rudy, not answer the question. And it's absolutely ridiculous. Not my words. That's why we do this, to kind of like say, I can sit here and I can do the research and I can spew it up. Here's the video, boys and girls. Here it is in full color. And thank goodness that we have social media, that we, the people, can access, all of us, and get the word out. You know, just a real quick, X, everybody on X tonight, thank you for coming out tonight. You guys are rocking it. Let's see. Then, of course, it's a tie between Facebook and YouTube. So, yeah, X people, thank you. I appreciate it. If you're on the page, please just like and share. That's how we get more traction. That's how we get more viewers. That's how we make a little. I got a check the other day. I was so excited. I got a payment from Facebook, a whole $12.95 after I paid the royalties for the music we use. So again, you know, we're on the track of being a millionaire. We'll get there probably by the age of 190 at this rate. I don't do it for the money. Brenda doesn't do it for money. This costs us money. We're supported by we the people. We've had several folks, you know, donate equipment, donate a little bit of cash to kind of help pay for things, you know. But other than that, Brenda and I, we pay for everything. We pay the subscriptions. We've had some nice donations to keep the show up and running, because this is where we, the people, are making a difference. And we know that we're starting to really irritate the Erie Dems, because Chuck Nelson is losing his mind on social media. You know, I posted his little get together with Mr. Cooley, talking about how people at Harbor Creek doesn't matter, and of course he went on a whole big spiel about something else, and then another, he got into it with you know, another local Republican, going back and forth, and you know, talking about how bad Harbor Creek is. I said, man, I know we don't have as many people as the city of Erie, and I understand that, and that's fine. But you know what? my taxes haven't been raised in over 30 years. We get a little bump on the fees now and then, but that's okay. And we get a little bump on our school taxes, and that's okay. Because you know what? We have great schools. Our schools system out here is amazing. The elementary school I went to is still up and running today. Several renovations, a couple additions, but it's still Klein School and it's still there. And all the other schools are still here. Harbor Creek, when I was there, they put out a big addition. Well, the big addition is now the old part. They have a new addition. So we see a good investment in the children's of Harbor Creek. And why do you think people move here? Taxes are okay, school taxes are okay, and the school districts rock. They really do. And our three supervisors do a great job to keep costs down. We have three great Republicans out here that do a great job. Any given time, I drove by Woodford Park the other day. There's Supervisor Steve Oler out there, and they were making a bigger parking lot. Now, I mean, come on. Yeah, I'm assuming he's got a pile of paperwork that big, but he took the time to drive down there and check out the new parking lot at Woodford Park because it's a community asset. And we've got great parks out here. I shouldn't be talking about it on the show because now everybody is going to be coming into our little parks, but that's okay. That's why we pay taxes. And that's why our supervisors do a great job in keeping those parks up and running. And Steve Oler and Tim May and Dean Papasallo, do I always agree with them? No, probably about 95% of the time. But I can pick up the phone and say, hey, I don't agree with this. Can you fix this? Can we fix that? And it's fixed. Thank you. We appreciate that. Anyway, Brenda, another video, please.
Can I take this off? Oh, this is wired, okay. Well, welcome everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my town hall. This is a town hall. This is not a political rally. This is not a protest. If you stand up and want to protest, if you want to shout and chant, we will have you removed just like that man was thrown out. We will not tolerate it. They're all inside the interior of the United States.
How about the KKK?
All inside the interior of the United States.
The terrorist group going after black and...
You can head out. The protest is outside. Thank you very much. Protest is outside.
You want money, bigot! You want money, bigot!
Protest is outside. Bye. Have fun out.
Yeah. And why do you think the...
Thank you. The Democrats have been rioting. They are the party of violence. They are the party that... Go. 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 If you want to sit and listen, you're welcome to listen. This is a peaceful town hall. Now, this is a peaceful town hall, ladies and gentlemen.
And this is exactly the tactic they want to use on Mike Kelly. And that's why he won't do a town hall. He won't do it because this is exactly what's going to happen. They're going to load the place up with their little protesters. And you can see, we showed you a video of the guy who owns a company that provides that service. So if you don't think this is all real, there it is. I mean, that's why we back it up with the videos. It's not AI. I'm not that smart to make an AI video that good. I'm not. But these are videos that are being shot by we the people. So it just gets put out on the internet. We bring all these videos together. We put them on our show. And that way we can share them out through all of our different channels. The channels are all lit up tonight. I really appreciate that. Everybody, I do. You make this show happen. And if it wasn't for, like I've said this once, I've said it 1,000 times, if it wasn't for you people, I would be standing here talking to myself and Brenda. And that's fine. And I don't mind talking to my lovely wife. However, yeah, let's talk about the new rug that we got at the front door. It's like, okay, that's really exciting home stuff, but it's not what we are here to do. We are here to push. We are here to get people elected. We are here to get people registered. We are here to motivate you people to get up and make a difference. This is all we've got. This is it. If I always get in trouble with this one. If you don't like it here, if you think we are so bad, and if you think our government's so oppressive, why don't you go overseas? Why don't you go overseas and stand in the middle of the city and burn their flag? I double dog dare you, because you know what? In some countries, they will shoot you dead. They will unlive you right here, right now. You want to be a member of the LGBTQ and say how racist we are? Go overseas, go to the Middle East and stand there and say that same thing and see what happens over there. It won't work out very well for you. Matthew, Marjorie Taylor is one of my favorites in D.C. Well, because she stands up and she calls it as it is. And the Democrats hate her. They call her name. They body shame her. They do every nasty thing they can to her to basically try to discredit her. And you know what? You're not going to. Does Chuck even know what his job is? That's a good question. He is a duly elected city councilman that is running for controller. He can barely do the city council job. Now he wants to be in charge of making sure the city spends its money right. Talk about the fox watching the chicken coop. Yeah. Again, I've said it once. I've said it 1,000 times. He's not going to make it out of the primary. And it's so funny. He'll put a comment up there. Oh yeah, my people are telling me you're talking about me in my show. I get to live in your head. Free parking. That's ours. Okay. That's how, as Trump supporters, that's exactly who we are to you people. We get to sit there and park inside your head, and you guys just stew in hate. And they come up with new ways to be hateful. I don't know. Let's get mad at Elon Musk. Let's go burn a Tesla. Let's go paint swastikas on everything. Because you know what? There's nothing more like calling us fascist than when you're turning right around and being fascist by trying to control what we say. You might want to look up the definition of being a fascist or a socialist while you're out there trying to quell our rights and our freedoms of the Constitution. Video, please, Brenda.
I just landed at the airport in San Salvador a little while ago. I'm now en route into the city. Looking forward to meeting with the team from the American Embassy. And I do want to thank our Foreign Service officers and the whole team at this embassy and embassies around the world for all the good work they do on behalf of our country. I'm proud to co-chair the bipartisan Foreign Service Caucus that stands up for the men and women who are serving our country overseas and at home in the State Department. After that, I hope to meet with some high-level government officials from El Salvador. As I've said before, the goal of my visit is to talk to people here about the release of Kilmar Abrego Garcia. I told his wife and his family I would do everything possible to bring him home, and we're going to keep working at this until we're successful. I also hope to have the chance to meet with him, but we'll have a better idea if that works out a little later on.
The question is preposterous. How can I
smuggle a terrorist into the United States. I don't have the power to return him to the United States.
But you can release him inside El Salvador.
Yeah, but I'm not releasing, we're not very fond of releasing terrorists into our country. We just turned the murder capital of the world into the safest country of the Western Hemisphere, and you want us to go back into releasing criminals so we can go back to being the murder capital of the world? No, that's not going to happen.
Do you plan to return him?
Well, I'm suppose you're not suggesting that I smuggle a terrorist into the United States, right? How can I return him to the United States? Like I smuggle him into the United States, or what do I do? Of course, I'm not going to do it. It's like,
Well, there you go. Right from the president of this MS-13 gang member. That's like, he's in our country. He's our citizen. He's in jail. I'm not going to smuggle him back into the country. This whole thing is nothing but a political football to try to put egg on President Trump's face. Look, this policy's so ironclad. He was a gang member. Goodbye. The judges ruled on it. The Supreme Court ruled on it. Have a nice day. You're out. And, here these guys, these senators are going down on our nickel dime while they're flying in airplanes. They're not that cheap anymore. To go try to rescue them and trying to set them up for being the martyrs. And look what we did. We saved this poor lost soul. He's just a Michigan dad. No, you're a proven gang member. That's simple. And under the new rules, well, it's not really a new rule. It's actually a very old law that they're using to get these people out of here that has stood up in court. But the Democrats hate losing, and they hate when they're not in charge. They hate the fact that Trump's in charge, and they hate the fact that he is doing the best he can, and all the crap they throw at him, he's still doing his job better than Biden and Obama put together. This is nothing but a smear campaign. That's all they've ever do. That's the only tactic Democrats have in their little bag of tricks is a smear campaign. That's all they do. That's all they know. They can't stay on the facts. They can't square off on you, professionally and stick on the issues that make a community great. They'll go negative and they'll go nasty and they go deep because that's the only tactic they've got. Brenda, you got a video?
I have two questions. One on a follow-up on something you just said. But since we have these messages released, and you said that the president has now personally reviewed them, at the chat, at one point, Pete Hegseth wrote, 14-15, strike drones on target, and in all caps, he said, this is when the first bombs will definitely drop. Does the president feel that he was misled by his national security advisors, whoever it was that told him there was no classified information in there, now that he's seen these messages?
I've now been asked and answered this question 3 times by the both of you, and I've given you my answer. The president feels the same today as he did yesterday.
Okay,
Philip.
I might follow up on what you had just said.
No, go ahead, Philip. Caitlin, I'm not taking your follow-up. Philip,
I have a follow-up on something you just said, though, Caroline. That's
Caitlin, I'm not taking your follow-up. Philip, go ahead. I have called on you.
The Vice President seemed to express some frustration that Europe wasn't doing more to police waterways in their backyard, noting in that signal thread that 40% of European trade goes through the Suez Canal. Does the president share that opinion and frustration? And then going forward, should the Europeans be responsible for policing that waterway?
Well, the president was asked this question yesterday by the pool in the cabinet room, and he answered this question. He said yes, he believes that Europe has been, as the vice president put it, freeloading on the backs of American taxpayers and off the backs of the United States of America, and he wants to ensure that Europe pays their fair share. He's always been very honest and upfront about that, and I think the vice president shares those concerns with him as well. Sure.
Enlisted soldiers, sailors, and Marines would face consequences if they shared this type of information inadvertently with a reporter. Can you tell us more why the president is so willing to give Mike Waltz a mulligan here?
Again, I have now been asked and answered the same question using different language multiple times. If anybody has another question, there's a lot of different things going on in the world. We have tariffs possibly being implemented later today. The president is going to talk about that at 4 o'clock this afternoon. Peter.
Caroline, if I can ask you very quickly about the information we've seen, just to set the predicate to all this. Has the president been briefed and physically seen he's seen all the details of the chat as printed by the Atlantic?
I just spoke to the president about it, yes.
Then let me ask you if I can very quickly. In the chat, Pete Hegseth, the defense secretary, details F-18s, Tomahawks, so some of the weapons that were used. He details the timing involved for this, all of which occurred 31 minutes before, as he says, F-18s
would launch. The DoD manual details classified information as significant military plans, saying that is secret, that that's classified. So what about, there are no methods, there are no sources, but that's not what determines what's classified. So what is it about what Pete Hegseth wrote that makes you say this is not classified?
Well, it's not just me saying that, Peter. It's the Secretary of Defense himself who is saying this as well. And he put out a very strong statement earlier today listing all of the things that were not included in that message that he sent to the group. And again, this message, there was no classified information transmitted. There were no war plans discussed. Why did The Atlantic downgrade their allegation about war plans to attack plans? They're now playing word games because they know this was sensationalist spin from a reporter who is well known for doing this. We have said all along no war plans were discussed, no classified material was sent. You have the Secretary of Defense saying that. You have the Director of the CIA, the Director of National Intelligence, the FBI Director, all testifying to that under oath, and they should be trusted with that.
To be clear, Americans can make the decision for themselves, but whether is the
Sure.
you said it's not war plans. Would you characterize these as military plans, military operation plans?
I would characterize this messaging thread as a policy discussion, a sensitive policy discussion, surely, amongst high-level cabinet officials and senior staff. And I'm so glad, Peter, that you said the American public can decide for themselves, because I think the American public should decide for themselves based on the outcome of this operation. And what happened in this operation? Terrorists that were allowed to run wild by the Biden administration were killed because of the direction and the determination of this president and his team. And this message also shows, this messaging thread also proved that President Trump has an incredibly dynamic team who is working incredibly hard, flying all over the world to secure world peace and to fix up the foreign policy crises that the previous administration left for this team to inherit.
So to be clear, we all in this room and around the country would agree that we're glad no American service members were harmed, and we're glad that the mission was a success. We'll stipulate that. But the president said that Pete Hegseth said none of this was classified. So given the president has seen it now, and given the president understands that significant military plans are deemed classified as secret, how does the president view none of this, which details times and weapons and more, as being not classified?
I've already been asked and answered this question. The president's thoughts on this remain the same today as they were yesterday, as well as the Secretary of Defense. This question has been asked and answered. There was no classified material discussed. Jackie.
On what basis I was asking?
Go ahead, Jackie.
Isn't that funny how the press just keep asking the same question over and over and over and over again? And you get the same answer, but they think they're the smartest people in the room and they're going to trip up the whole operation because there's some reporters. And it was so funny. There was a video I was watching, and it almost made the cut for today. And they were talking about, how Trump doesn't allow certain news media. And of course, they're like, well, that's being a fascist, and that's being a Nazi, quelling the freedom of the press. But that's funny coming from the press that does everything in their power to spin the news and spin their narrative the way they want it to be for the results they want to get. So it's just absolutely hilarious that it's only good when it's their way. Brenda, you got a video?
When it comes to Harvard, the president's position on this is grounded in common sense, in the basic principle that Jewish American students, or students of any faith, should not be illegally harassed and targeted on our nation's college campuses. And we unfortunately saw that illegal discrimination take place on the campus of Harvard. There are countless examples to prove it, particularly with the stunning confession by then Harvard President Claudine Gay, who said that bullying and harassment depended on the context. The president at that time made it clear to the American public he was not going to tolerate illegal harassment and anti-Semitism taking place in violations of federal law. So the president made it clear to Harvard, follow federal law, no longer break Title VI, which was passed by Congress to ensure no student can be discriminated against on the basis of race, and you will receive federal funding. Unfortunately, Harvard has not taken the president or the administration's demands seriously. All the president is asking, don't break federal law, and then you can have your federal funding. I think the president is also begging a good question. More than $2 billion out the door to Harvard when they have a more than $50 billion endowment. Why are the American taxpayers subsidizing a university that has billions of dollars in the bank already? And we certainly should not be funding a place where such grave anti-Semitism exists.
I did not realize until this story broke that we, the people, pay for Harvard. We spend a lot of tax dollars to subsidize the education of hate. Now, I think Brenda and I were talking about this, or I was talking to someone today about this. Think about it. Harvard graduates are supposed to be the smartest people, the best of the best. You know, the Harvard law is supposed to be the best of the best. And I get that. So these people graduate from Harvard Law. They become successful lawyers. They become politically active. They get in positions of power to vote to send money back to Harvard. Why are we subsidizing a private school? I'm just saying. I don't think I could apply for Harvard and get in there. I don't have the grades and I don't have the money. Or I don't have the right boxes to check. So I find this whole thing ridiculous that they don't like persons that are Jewish. That absolutely blows my mind. Blows my mind. That the people that call us fascist and Nazis and racist and everything they can are the ones that are actually doing it. I don't care if you're Jewish or not. Doesn't affect me. If that's your heritage and that's your religion, you knock yourself out. You know, but again, this comes down to what's going on in the Middle East. You know, Palestine comes over and attacks. They retaliate, and they're getting their backsides kicked. They still have hostages. They won't release them. They have killed them. But Israel's supposed to be the bad guy. That's like me going over to Lance's house, punching him in the nose, then screaming foul when he punches me back. Makes no sense. But again, welcome to politics. And trust me, this is all anti-Trump. This is just hate, 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 hate. Trump, 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 Trump. I get that. You know, I totally, totally get that. You know, I just got a note from the boss. She has another video.
Well, the past few weeks have been a tell-all tsunami for Biden's legacy. His own friends and colleagues cashed in their confessions to several authors. And this entire time has been staying quiet in the basement until today in Chicago, when Biden spoke for the first time since leaving the White House. And in typical Biden fashion, he was more than an hour late and got off to a rough start.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Who deserve help and paid for most of it.
After that, it was some of the greatest hits.
Well, that's what you're all about. That's what the legislation is about. It's about dignity. Simple dignity. Everyone deserves to be treated with dignity. By the way, those 300-year-old folk getting that Social Security, I want to meet them because I like to figure out how they live out. Hell of a thing, man. I'm looking for longevity. Who in the hell do they think they are? Every 5 years and then wait around and be... no. I will not go further and get in trouble.
Righty then.
Then Joe took a walk down memory lane.
I had never seen hardly any black people in Scranton at the time I was only going in the 4th grade. And I remember seeing the kids going by at the time called colored kids on a bus going by.
Democrats don't want to be anywhere near Joe. He's like political Ebola. Even when he tries to slam Trump, doesn't slap.
Fewer than 100 days, this new administration has done so much damage and so much destruction. It's kind of breathtaking it could happen that soon. We can't go on like this as a divided nation, as divided as we are. Like I said, I've been doing this a long time. It's never been this divided. Granted, it's roughly 30%, but it's a 30% that has no heart.
Joe's been MIA for months. Most Democrats don't even know where he's been hiding. One said Biden's been riding the Amtrak about twice a week. Maybe he thinks he's senator again. Joe's even catching up on movies and books he missed, not the ones authored by a guy named Whipple. It's nice to hear Sleepy Joe's finally getting some R&R. According to his former staffers, they wanted to keep it that way. Quote, it takes a special level of chutzpah as the man most responsible for re-electing Donald Trump to decide it's your voice that's missing in the moment. The country would have been better served if he rode off into the sunset. Biden's been riding off into the sunset ever since he was ousted by his best friend, Nancy. Is she still devastated over the breakup? Yep. Does she have regrets? No.
I haven't really talked about my comments to Joe Biden. Perhaps I will at some point, but I love him. I respect him. I respect his family and all the rest. But it was at a point where we had to win the election. And I think that's self-evident when we see the results of the election.
Do they all go to the same school of word salad? And I'm not, I got to be very careful. I don't want to pick on the elderly. I get that these people have served this country, good, bad, or indifferent. They've been there a long time. This is a prime example why we need term limits. And Senator Dave McCormick is Johnny on the spot. He's having that conversation. I wish him all the luck. They're not going to do this because it's basically political suicide, because then they can't end up being multi-millionaires and owning 4 or 5 different homes all over the place and scream on TV, do you mind sending us $5 because this is a big fight and, this Trump guy, Trump. Man, free parking 101. And, and what did Pelosi say? We have to win this election. They knew he was not capable of doing the job. They knew it. And then they saw it. They had to do something. This was a Hail Mary. And by God, the American people woke up. We got you registered to vote. We got you to the polls, and we made a difference. So what do we have to do? We have to do it again, and we're going to do it again in the spring. We're going to do it again in the fall. We're going to do it again in the spring, and we're going to do it in the fall. We have to keep this momentum up. This is not just a, woo, we won the war, we all go home and have a cold adult beverage. No, this is an ongoing battle. The Democrats, I warned you, I have told you, we have talked about this, they are going to keep coming unglued. This whole Elon Musk thing is going to run its course. They're going to stop burning Teslas. They're throwing people in jail. They're locking them up. And eventually, hopefully, it'll get through their fat heads. This is not what America is about. And then they call us, we're the party of violence. No, I don't know. But January 6th, that's the only argument they have whenever we have an argument. It's about January 6th. And, that has unraveled, because I remember there were 5 police officers killed on January 6th. Nope, not one person was killed. Oh, that's right. An unarmed female Air Force veteran was shot through a window and killed by a Capitol Police officer. No charges. No real investigation. I didn't realize that you could shoot an unarmed woman through a window at about maybe 25 yards, and it'd be okay that she wasn't armed. She wasn't even at the window. She was back about 5-10 feet. Watched the video a couple times. He took a blind shot through the window like a coward, shot and killed that lady. He should have been arrested, and he's the one that should be in jail. But they locked up everybody else that was there. I wasn't even there, and I got accused of having a insurrection in Erie, PA that day. Yeah, I was on the news talking about how we're having a peaceful protest, and it was called "Stop the Steal." Because when all of us were done, we walked over the courthouse. We beat up the deputies, and we threw the sheriff out the window, and we took over the courthouse. No, we didn't. We had a nice, peaceful protest. We had folks on the other side that were holding signs, very nice, very polite. When I was talking, I said, "Hey, first of all, I want to thank you all for coming out. I appreciate the opposite side of this, the coming out, standing there with your signs, being peaceful, have a nice conversation. You're more than welcome to come in closer. We don't bite." And they didn't, but that's okay. But they accused me and Drexel the pretzel had a mailer that Shank was in charge of the Erie insurrection. I'm like, come on, man. I was on the news by one of the local newscasters about, there was a good number of people there. And just like the other day on the news, come on, I got to take a shot at the news. I really do. I mean, local news is usually pretty good. They had a couple of protesters not stop the steal, but keep your hands off. And the news headlines, dozens of people. I counted 10 people were in the shot when they said there was dozens of people. Come on, Erie, you can do better than that with your local news. That was really a stretch. I mean, come on, man, that wasn't even close, but the good folks in Erie have another hands-off protest this Saturday at 12 o'clock at Perry Square. If you're not doing anything, stop down, say hi, be nice, bring a sign, put I Heart Elon on it or something to really watch them lose their minds and see how far they come unglued. We will be up at the casino at 10:30. We're going to put together, I got my Doge flag. I'll mount it on the car. We'll take a ride downtown, do a couple loop-de-loos around Perry Square, and go find a cappuccino somewhere and enjoy our freedoms. But we haven't really decided that. Brenda, I don't think you have any more videos, correct?
I do not.
You do not. The boss lady says we do not. We do not have any calls. I will go ahead and we can get this thing ready to bring it in for a landing, as the late Scott Brebner always said at the end of his show. Out of homage to his years on the airways, I'm going to borrow his outro very soon. I'm going to bring this thing in for a landing because it's almost 9:30. Hey, we did pretty good. I was only an hour and a half. All right. Sorry about the technical stuff. We do the best we can with what we got. We did a test. Everything was working great. We had some sound issues with the microphone prior to it. We did a test on the phone. It worked fine, but that's okay. We have a backup plan, and we have a backup plan, and we have a backup plan on the backup plan. So it's way to go. We are going to go ahead and say goodnight. Thank you. Again, a special thank you to everybody on X that came in tonight. There's over 100 people just on X. Thank you. I appreciate it. I am humbled by you stopping in. If you are on my page, please put a big heart on there for me. And if you want to type in the general area where you're from, I would really love to know how far we are reaching. Man, this camera is really bugging out. I have to switch cameras. Where we're reaching out to. I know we've got folks in Colorado. I know we've got people in Texas. I had a person reach out to me. Several people from Florida. So I'm excited because tiny little hashtag live from the dining room, as my neighborhood Karen would love to poke fun at, whatever. And then that way we're just doing what we need to do and get our folks motivated. Got to get you people motivated because, man, Kim and I lost our election when I ran up for re-election. We barely had a 25% turnout rate. 25% turnout rate is absolutely insulting. We, as Republicans, can do better. Yeah, April, good night. Thanks, Stan, everybody, Jody, Mark. I'm just looking at everybody. Tina. Oh, you got a new Tina Hodis for city council. That's pretty cool. I like that. That's very nice. You do some great artwork, by the way. I follow you guys on social media. You guys do some really nice posters and stuff. You do a great job. Keep up the good work. You like and share. If you don't know these people, stop by their social media pages and get to know them. They've got some fundraisers coming up. Please support our local candidates. They need a couple bucks to run campaigns because campaigns do cost money. And when the Democrats are pulling PAC money out of DC of over $200,000 for these little local races, we have to do it better and we have to do it cleaner. Good night, everybody. Brenda, please roll the outro video if you would be so kind.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd worked for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. Thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. Sing it! God bless the USA! From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston, and New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. Proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the
All right, everybody, thanks for coming out. Again, just a friendly reminder, we will not be here on Sunday. It is Easter Sunday. We need to take a break and spend time with our families or whatever you need to do on Easter Sunday. We will be back on Wednesday, and we will have a special guest. And we're working out the details, so it looks pretty good. I will be posting who our guests will be, and you will be really excited because I'll say she is an amazing person. A special thank you to my lovely wife, Brenda, for everything she does to keep the show right, keep the videos downloaded, and keeps me on track. You don't see my message board, but I get little messages. You can't say that. One video left. Please like and share. So I get little notes. Again, everybody that came in on X, thank you. Everybody came in on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, please like and share. That helps us get our traction up and get us at a higher rating. And that way we can make a few more dollars and we can invest in, I need to get a new microphone. That's a new thing. That's on my wish list. So don't worry about it. We'll take care of that. Again, thank you all for coming out. I will see you next Wednesday. Have a safe, please, safe holiday weekend. I appreciate you all for coming out, and God bless. Shank out.